Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Queen Elizabeth, A Day in Her Life. I'm sorry about the delay in the news for this week. I had a computer issue, and it took a few days to get things back to normal. But I'm back, and we're going to talk about the royal news around the week of February the 23rd, 2025. The first story comes from the New York Post, and it was published February the 19th. Prince Andrew's Royal Lodge risks spiraling out of control as new maintenance prices are revealed. And this is by Nika Shekanazarova. So Prince Andrew faces a hefty $190,000 bill to stop his Royal Lodge property from spiraling out of control, according to a UK property expert. The disgraced Duke of York, 65, was poised to leave the Royal Lodge after his brother, King Charles, cut him off financially late last year. In a desperate bid to pinch a few pennies, Andrew has kept himself busy by taking on yard work at the house after no longer being able to afford help. Now it appears as though Andrew is in need of a professional intervention if he wants the estate looking as good as it once did, a UK property expert told GB News. Without regular attention, overgrowth can quickly spiral out of control, requiring professional intervention to restore order, Terry Fisher told the outlet. Maintaining 21 acres of gardens at a property like Royal Lodge would typically require a dedicated team of 4 to 6 gardeners, depending on the complexity of the landscaping. Fisher went on, costs can vary, but hiring experienced gardeners could range from $37,000 to $50,000 annually per gardener, meaning the total annual maintenance bill could easily exceed $190,000. This would cover routine tasks like mowing, pruning, planting, and general upkeep to ensure the grounds remain in top condition, he noted. Despite the royals' best efforts at developing a green thumb, the 30-room mansion is reportedly surrounded by shrubbery and woodland. It mimics the situation inside the residence after Charles kick-started the process of removing precious artifacts due to maintenance and security concerns. Andrew has resided at the sprawling property since 2004 and currently lives there with his ex-wife Sarah Ferguson. He narrowly avoided eviction last year after finding a mystery financial backer at the 11th hour. He has since faced calls from the UK government to reveal the source of his newfound funding. Earlier this week, Andrew faced fresh eviction calls after it emerged he held a business meeting with China's ambassador to the UK just days before his links to an alleged Chinese spy became public. The second story comes from the Express dated February 23, 2025. Queen Camilla hates popular sport loved by other royals. And this is by Jasmine Carey, royal reporter. Queen Camilla may be one of the most senior members of the royal family. However, it turns out she does not always share the same love of certain sports that are popular among the rest of the royals. While most members of the royal family are known to be keen skiers, it turns out that Camilla, 77, has never been a fan of the winter sport, despite going on ski holidays before marrying into the royal family. This was revealed by her son, Thomas Parker Bowles, in a new interview with the Times, where he opened up about the types of holidays he went on as a child with his mother before she met King Charles. As well as revealing how the family would fly economy, Tom also revealed that every year the family would go on some form of ski holiday. While he would enjoy hitting the slopes with his sister and their father, Andrew Parker Bowles, Tom said his mother would never join them. He revealed in the Times, "My parents' sister and I would spend a week every December in Austria or somewhere in France or Switzerland. My mother hated skiing, though, so she'd send us up the mountain with a guide while she sat and read her book. And she'd come up the ski lift to meet us for lunch and one time try to make conversation with the guide." While the Queen may not be a fan of skiing, her husband Charles has always enjoyed the winter sport and has gone various times over the years, enjoying a number of holidays with various family members, including his sons Prince William and Prince Harry. The third story comes from Express dated February 22, 2025. The hilarious way Prince Philip would end a video call with family members. Prince Philip was known by the public and loved ones for having a great sense of humor, and Prince Harry now reveals some hilarious information about him. And this is by Jasmine Carey, royal reporter. Prince Philip was a much-loved member of the royal family, both publicly and privately. While many people across the globe knew the late prince for his loyalty to his wife, the late Queen Elizabeth II, his family knew him as a loving father, grandfather, and great-grandfather. Since his death in 2021, the family have shared many fond memories of the Duke, including some funny pranks he used to do. However, just months before Philip's death, Prince Harry revealed something about his grandfather that not many people would know about. When appearing on The Late Late Show with James Corden in February 2021, Harry opened up with his relationship of his grandparents while on an open bus tour of L.A. James asked the prince, who had quit royal life a year prior, whether his grandparents used Zoom, a video chat app used to help loved ones stay in touch with one another, and Harry replied, "Both my grandparents do. My grandfather, instead of pressing leave meeting, he just goes duff." The prince then acted out, shutting the laptop lid, laughing as he recalled how his grandfather abruptly ended the calls. Harry also revealed that on those Zoom chats, he had the chance to show the late Queen and Prince Philip his own son, Prince Archie, running around the family's Montecito garden. Prince Philip died just months after this revelation and never got to meet Harry's daughter, Princess Lilibet, who was born just months after his death. While Philip's method of ending the Zoom calls may amuse royal fans, it's not the only humorous thing the late royal did. In the BBC documentary Prince Philip, The Royal Family Remembers, which aired just 6 months after the Duke's death, Prince William opened up about one prank the prince used to do, which would wind up the late Queen. William said in the documentary, "Instead of a mustard pot, we'd have a mustard tube, a squeezy mustard tube, and then he'd squish your hands together to fire the mustard onto the ceiling. He used to get into a lot of trouble from my grandmother for covering most of the places we had lunch and things with mustard on the ceiling." And the last story is from the Daily Telegraph, issued February 22nd, 2025. "No denying Major King Charles cancer update slips out." And this is by Danielia Elzer. "Ah, the cliched sound of cowbells clinking, the smell of crisp clean snow, and the whir of 99 enormous artillery-sized camera lenses trained on a few people posing with skis slightly stiffly. This used to be an annual royal tradition, the migration of the younger generations of the House of Windsor to the powdery peaks of the Swiss Alps for plenty of pre- and post-posturing and whipping about in day-glow 80s onesies. At some point, a certain arrangement between Buckingham Palace and Fleet Street was reached, and during these trips the HRHs would do that awkward photo call, and the press would then refrain from chasing them up and down the chairlifts in pursuit of front pages and low-level frostbite. So here's today's bad news, nevermore. This scene won't play out again. King Charles has revealed he has made a major and sad decision. He is walking away from one of his lifelong loves, skiing. No more press calls. This came as the Daily Beast Tom Sykes offered the first indication of what sort of treatment the king might actually be undergoing, the palace never having revealed any specifics. According to Sykes, there is no denying the plain fact that he is still having weekly radiotherapy. Capping things off is that earlier in the month, the king hosted a dinner at his Highgrove estate where, despite an ebullient turn, his advancing years seem self-evident. But let's talk about the skiing bit and what that means. This important update in the annals of royal hobbying was revealed when His Majesty was making small talk with the Swiss employee of a wind turbine factory during an official engagement. Speaking to Avizi Jasuvi, a machinery expert from Basel, the 76-year-old said, "I think my skiing days are behind me." How mournful a lowing sound can a cowbell make, I ask you? And no, in the scheme of things, this is hardly breaking into regular programming, emergency news, but it feels a bit like the thin end of a wedge. With the first of Charles' enduring pastimes having now fallen foul of the march of time, what might be next? It is now more than 12 months since not only His Majesty, but Kate, the Princess of Wales, were diagnosed with cancer, and as signposts go, this skiing call is a bit of a melancholy one, a confirmation that even though His Majesty continues to plug on with his workload, reality and the cold vagaries of life are catching up with him. What lies ahead for Charles in 2025 are question marks and maybes, and a stream of possibles from the palace sources. The King and Queen Camilla could be celebrating their 20th wedding anniversary on April 9th in Italy, with the palace having confirmed their majesties are set to undertake a state visit around then. And then, according to the Times, there have been discussions about offering Mr. Trump a second go-around in London as part of the transatlantic glad-handing and attempted reheating of relations between London and Washington. There are also reports of a possible Washington visit by high-ranking members of the King's family, most likely around July 2026, to mark the 250th anniversary of the signing of America's Declaration of Independence. Who else but the British would happily go along to a big showy event celebrating their brutal dumping? The King is also, per the Times, primed to receive other world leaders on inbound state visits over the next 12 months. And yet there is this unspoken but in all of this, his health. A friend of Charles and Camilla's has told the Beast Sykes that any U.S. plans remain entirely contingent on his ongoing cancer treatment. And there's also the Queen's health, with her having battled an extremely nasty bout of pneumonia after touring Australia and the South Pacific last year. However, their Majesty's health woes come at a time when the soft power of the monarchy can never be more fundamental to helping Britain out, with not only the King but Prince William also being called up to help do their bit to keep the special relationship alive and kicking, at least ish. In December last year, Prince William and Mr. Trump met privately for 45 minutes after both attended the reopening of Notre Dame. The Beast has also reported that the King Charles has recently enjoyed a private trip to the Royal Ballet, later spending 30 minutes chatting to the cast and crew. And someone who spent time with Charles there told the Beast he seemed to be in perfect health. So I'm going to stop the video here. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, if you could give it a thumbs up, it would be greatly appreciated. I wish everybody a good day, and tune in again soon for another episode of Queen Elizabeth, A Day in Her Life. Thank you. Bye.